Nappy hour. Nappy hour. Nappy hour.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's just always gone too low when the time she goes away. I'm in an annoying mood today. I just am. Just get used to it. Get on board or get over it. This podcast is brought to you by Nomcos, lip care that works. But more on that later. That was a bit sexy, wasn't it? Let's do that again. That was a bit too sexy. This podcast is... That's like a news broadcast. This podcast is proudly supported by Nomcos, lip care that works. But more on that later. I like that one. Okay, cool. Let's go. Welcome to the Nappy Hour, guys, the place where you tell me all about your fucked up lives and I tell everyone, just like real friends. So open your ears and let me fill them full of shit. Advice. Big shout out to my Australian audience. You guys have actually done what I asked and doubled my listenership over across the pond, across the bloody pond, mate. No, that's America, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. My listenership has doubled in Australia. And that, you guys, is what happens when you pull your fucking finger out your hairy ass and send this podcast to a friend. Dreams really do come true. Never not having. I know you got to be wrong. Also working overtime, my American audience. Thank you, American mum friends. You guys, again, the listenership over in America has gone fucking bonkers. I don't know what is going on. Last time I checked America, there was like 4 or 5 cities that were like, that I had people listening in. Now it's gone fucking mad. It's gone fucking mental, mate. Let me just have a look at some of the places. It's gone fucking bonkers over there. Right, we got North Carolina, California, Virginia, Arizona, Massachusetts. I've never known how to say that word. Is it right? Pennsylvania, Maryland. Sorry, but Maryland. So I have a friend that is from Maryland. If you are from Maryland and you are listening, can you message me, please? Because I want to know who the fuck you are. Because I have a friend from Maryland. She actually lives in Colorado. Shout out Ali Rain. She's from Maryland. And I wondered if you guys are connected to Ali or not. That's like, you know, when you go to... I've just done that thing when you go to like a really like weird ass fucking city and someone's like, oh, like you're from London. I know a person from London as well. George, do you know George? And they're like, no, mate, there's literally 7 million people in London. Like, I don't know fucking George, mate. I got a couple people listening in Kensington, Gaithersburg, Hyattsville, how you say it, Greenbelt and Middle River. Gotta say, you Americans name your places some fucking funny names. Gaithersburg is not a word, guys, okay? I'm from Gaithersburg. No, you're not, because no one would ever name a town Gaithersburg. That's a ridiculous name. I'm going to lose a couple of audience members if I'm not careful, so love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I've actually been told that my American accent is pretty good. So I would love to know if you Americans that are listening, how do I sound? Do I sound realistic? Is this American? Or is this like when my American friends, they try and do a British accent and they end up talking like that? It's like really annoying. When I was in America, I was staying with my friend, they kept on like slipping into London accents, and I was just like, my ears, it was like nails down a fucking chalkboard. All right, mate, you all right, mate? Tell you who's not working overtime: the fucking South Africans. The South Africans are not working hard enough. Listen here, you little twips, okay? Pull your fucking fingers out. You're probably wonderfully perky, beautifully tanned bottoms. Because let's face it, I've actually never met a South African that doesn't have a lovely ass. Have you? Tell me I'm wrong. Show me a South African that doesn't have a lovely rear end. They don't exist. You know why? Because they have beautiful weather. They're spending all day outside working on their booties. Show me a South African that doesn't have a nice ass. I'm telling you, they do not exist. And if they do, it's because they've moved over here and they've discovered McCoy's crisps and they've sat on the sofa and started watching EastEnders and they've just forgot to stand up. Now they've got one of those British asses. Now, listen, us Brits, we are known for many, many amazing things. Our arses, we're not known for our butts, are we? It's not like one of our trademark symbols. Some places in the world are just known for having good butts, like Brazilians, Colombians, that you just know they're going to have a nice arse. South Africans, Aussies, what is it? I think it's just when you have nice weather and then you can spend like all day outside working on your ass. You know, people around Australia, they're not like just walking around. They're like jumping. They're lunging and they're jumping because they're so happy. They're like, oof, yeah, we live in Australia and it's really beautiful over here. They're not walking up the steps. They're fucking box jumping, absorbing that landing, bending the knees, engaging the glutes. They have like 20 hours of beautiful weather a day to work on their butts. Whereas we in this country, you know, we have 1 to 3 hours a week maximum, because that's the only time that we can go to the gym, you know? It just ain't enough, and it shows. I want to talk about how I accidentally became a stay-at-home mum. I did it to myself. I did, but I did it by accident. I did it to myself. Listen, some mums are built for it. They are built for this life. I am not one of those women, okay? I ain't built for it. I'm doing it. I'm trying my freaking best, okay, Karen? I'm trying my freaking hardest. But it's not my natural predisposition. Whenever you say that online, when like if you say that you're struggling like with the stay-at-home mum life, there's always some fucking asshole that comes into your comment section and they're like, well, you did it yourself. You did it yourself. Why do you have children then if you didn't think you could hack it? Why don't you just go back to working then if it's that hard? But the issue is, I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to go back to work because I've fallen out of love with my job after having a baby. And I didn't really realize that was going to happen. I was pregnant, right? I was working up until like 38 weeks. And I was outside, for anyone that doesn't know, I was a boxing coach. I was doing pad work. I was training people outside in the park. Like I was doing it until I was about to fucking blow. And I was thinking, okay, 3 months and I'm going to be back to it. But then I had a baby and I was like, I don't think I could do that anymore. Like I just did not feel mentally ready or physically ready to get back into work. So the issue is I've fallen out of love with my job. And quite frankly, the thought of going back into work is disgusting. No, I'm not doing it. I'm living the sweet life over here, guys. Okay. I wake up, I'm in my jammies until 11 a.m. I'm sitting on the floor. I'm playing puzzles with my kid. You know, I basically just get to do whatever the fuck I want to do. The only clause is I have to bring my child with me. Gotta say, sometimes that kills the vibe. Just gonna put it out there. Like, you know, sometimes I'm in TK Maxx, I'm sniffing candles. I'm like, oh, this is so good. It's like a Tuesday afternoon, I'm in TK Maxx sniffing candles. Like, what the frickin' hell? How lucky am I? Oh, so good. But then my child's in the buggy like, Mom, I'm hungry. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm sniffing candles. Mommy, I need to wait. Shh. Shh. Sniffing candles is a sensory experience. Okay, sniffing candles is an educational experience. You can partake or you don't have to. You can sit in the buggy. But either way, this is what we're doing today. All right, honey. Taking a kid, you know, sometimes kill the vibe. But you know what else kills the vibe? Having a job. Having a job sucks. It fucking sucks. You like getting up every day and getting out, going to work and having to stay there until someone tells you that you can go. What the fuck? What the fuck is that about? No. 9 to 5, but it's not 5, is it? It's not 5. Let's face it. It never is 5, is it, guys? I remember my first office job. 9 to 5, they said. 9 to 5, my fucking ass. You know, 5 o'clock hits. I'm ready. I'm counting down the minutes. Since 4 o'clock, I've been looking at that clock like, come on, 5 p.m., come on, 5 p.m., let's fucking go. 5 o'clock hits. No one fucking moves. I'm sat there like, okay. I'm like, my bag is packed. I am ready to go. 5:05, still no one's moving. I'm thinking, oh shit. You know, it's one of those places. You could literally hear a pin drop. 5:10 rolls around. And You guys have to understand, okay? I'm not sat there in my lounge wear. I'm not comfortable. I'm in office wear. I'm squeezed into a shirt that is too small for me. Right? I can't fucking breathe. I'm starting to panic. I'm texting my loved one saying, I don't think I'm gonna make it. 5:20, you can literally hit a fucking pin drop. Everyone is just staring at their computers, working away. And I'm there like looking around. Okay. No one's moving just yet. Maybe my clock's wrong. 5:30, I just think, okay, you know what? I stayed an extra half an hour. I'm tapping out, I'm done. I leave. So I get home at 6 p.m. Practically lost 3 years off my fucking life. It's unwritten, but you are obliged to stay longer than 5. And if you leave at 5, you just know everyone's judging you. Everyone's like, she's just here for the money. She's not here for the love of it. You know what? No, I'm not here for the love of answering phones and inputting fucking data that I don't understand into spreadsheets and filing invoices. I'm not here for the love of it. I couldn't get a job again. I couldn't. I got PTSD from that office job, to be honest. The only job that I could have is just being a man's girlfriend. And to be honest, I'm just kind of banking on Zach being the rich man eventually. Does anyone else feel like they are just cosplaying being a stay-at-home mother? I feel like that sometimes. Like a lot of women find themselves in this position and they thrive and they love it. And they are just like living their wife and mother like dream. But I think the majority of us are, well, I hope at least the majority of us are like me, where they just kind of like accidentally found them in the situation. They're just like, oops, like I guess this is me for like a couple years and I'll just try and figure it out in a bit. You know, when I look at Zach and my situation, you know, you couldn't pay me enough money to swap positions with Zach. Like that, I think of him up in his office working away and I just think that fucking sucks. But then I think about my situation and I feel deep shame about finding it difficult. Like what am I finding difficult? And I feel embarrassed by the fact that I find it emotionally draining, because when I describe my day to Zach versus his day, like I am living the sweet life. You know, some people say that being a stay-at-home parent is the equivalent of working 17 jobs. Like, sorry, I don't believe that. I do not believe that. What job allows you to sit on your ass on the floor, eating snacks, watching Disney films in your jammies all day? Like, no job allows that. Find me a job. Literally, please, find me a job that has that job description. I dare ya. It don't exist. A lot of my days, if I describe them to like my younger self, they feel like the dream days. You know, I wake up when my son wakes up, we make food, we play, we go to the park, we go to the beach. Like in lots of ways, I am living the dream life. So why do I find it so draining emotionally and physically? If I compare it to my job when I was a PT, if anyone's ever had a PT, I know you did this. And any PTs that are listening, I know you'll relate. What happens in those sessions in between exercising is your client just like trauma dumping on you, like all their fucking shit they're going through. Like you are just getting it from every angle, and every client does that. So from like 7 a.m. until 8 p.m., I was just getting trauma dumped on. You know, I would come home from work and I had just checked out from any human interaction. But when you're a full-time parent, like you can't check out, because your work is your home and your client is your child, and they're upstairs in their bedroom. And you know what? They're there fucking 24/7, baby. And you know what? The worst part? They're not even paying you. Before the grateful police come for me, I'm so fucking grateful. I'm so grateful. I wouldn't change it for the world, guys. Would not change it for the world. You know, you can still feel grateful and in love with your child, but also still feel lost in motherhood. And I think it's important to recognize that. And speaking of feeling lost in motherhood, we're going to dive straight into our first dilemma. Segue. Hey there, I'm a mum to a beautiful baby girl and I'm feeling a bit lost. I love my little one to bits, but since becoming a mum, let me just stop you right there, my darling. You never, ever, ever have to caveat anything on this podcast with how much you love your child. I love my child, but I am also really struggling. I know you love your child. You don't need to tell me that. We all know that you love your child. And I feel like mums always do this. Whenever we're struggling, we always feel like we need to caveat with, but I really love my child. I really love my child. I love being a mum, but also I'm really, really depressed. You don't have to do that here, okay? So let's do that again. I'm a mum to a beautiful baby girl, but I'm feeling a bit lost. I found myself missing who I used to be. I'm even thinking about trying for another baby, but the thought of going through that emotional transition again is terrifying. I'm scared of losing even more of myself. How do I find my place in the world now as more than just a mum and keep my sanity if we go for baby number 2? One word for you, my darling. Matrescence. Hey Google, define matrescence.
This is the definition of mattress, a fabric case filled with deformable or resilient material used for sleeping on.
Right, thank you. Okay, I'll go with my definition that I have written down. Matrescence is a term used by anthropologists to describe the process of becoming a mother from preconception to postpartum and beyond. It's a developmental phase that involves many changes, including hormonal shifts, physical changes, and shifts in identity and relationships. Matrescence can feel like a whirlwind of emotions and is often compared to adolescence. Imagine going for a job, right? You've done the reading, you've done the prep work, and then you get thrown in on the first day. And the job is just like so much more pressure and stress than you've ever imagined. And it's just nothing like you read in the job description. If that was like an office job, you'd say, fuck this, hand in your notice, you'd fucking leave, you find another job. But with parenting, it's like you don't have that option. Well, I mean, technically you do, but it's called walking out on your kids. And, let's not do that. I mean, plenty of people do. But let's not do that. Sometimes I just think it's nice to know that even though like you can't really change it, there's nothing really that you can do apart from just know that this is a normal part of the process, and just knowing that it's a normal experience that you are having just makes it easier to bear, because it's just all part of it. When I heard that word matrescence and then I saw the definition, I thought, oh, thank God, that is what I'm feeling. I'm not a crazy person. I don't hate my child. I don't hate motherhood. I'm just going through a lot of shifts right now. Comparing it to adolescence is exactly right. When you were a teenager and you were just acting like a fucking psychopath. You were spotty, you were greasy, you were stinky, and you were so erratic, and you just were a fucking crazy person. Well, that is kind of what postpartum is like. And I read somewhere that it takes like 3 years to sort of feel yourself again, and up to 7 years for like your physical changes to sort of like all heal, or everything to have fully changed. But 1 to 3 years is the process of matrescence. And just knowing that makes me feel so much better. After the 3 years, you're meant to feel yourself again. Whether the feeling of you is your old self, I don't know. I think it's more like you have finally accepted and made space for the new you to come through and thrive properly. The shift of parenthood is like nothing that we could have ever imagined. And if we stick to, the job analogy that we've been liking today, first time mum, it's like new job, new industry. You're learning on the job. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're Googling everything because you're just so confused. Second time mum, I'm assuming it's, the same job. You know what you're doing now, but it's just more responsibilities and more stress. The pay's still shit, but you've been here before, and at least you know what you're doing now. I mean, second time mums, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say the shift into motherhood the second time round is not as earth shaking as it is the first. There are a few ways to keep your sanity in motherhood. Again, I think it might be harder once you have that second baby to stick to these. But for that first baby anyway, I can tell you how I keep my sanity. Firstly, it's just accepting the changes, radical acceptance. Because I think when I had my first baby, I was, like you're saying, trying to cling on to the old me and my old life. And, that girl's dead. She gone. And I was able to accept that and make way for like the cooler, hotter, more interesting, more invincible version of myself. Secondly is stop trying to squeeze yourself into like the stereotypical archetype of what mother is. Your version of mother will look very different to my version of mother or to any version of mother that you know, and that's fine. And I feel like we have this baby and we just feel the pressure to be like everyone else, and it's just bullshit. You know, mothers are not a monolith, and just squeezed a baby out of your pussy does not mean that you then need to, you know, look at Janet down the road and be like her, taking your baby to mini Mozart classes 3 times a week and attending buggy walk groups and never having a drink or a smoke or going clubbing or going to festivals. Like, it's about finding your own version of mother. And lastly, just you have to make space for yourself in the week. You have to make time to do things that you liked doing. What are your hobbies? What did you like doing pre-baby? What kind of music do you like listening to? Put that fucking music on where you're cooking. Play it, crank that fucking music up, bitch. You like listening to Avril Lavigne? Turn Miss Rachel off and crank up Complicated and just let your baby fucking enjoy it. That's what I've started doing now in the evenings. Like, me and my kid, we're just having a dance party to all the old school pop punk music that I used to love. Rather than me spending my evening listening to fucking Puff and Rock and Bluey and just losing my mind, I'm listening to the music that I want to listen to. And guess what? Woody loves it. And hopefully you have a supportive partner that will make space in the week to enable you to be you and have you time. Make sure you get out once a week at least to do you. And that will in turn make you a better mom. You'll be able to mother more. When you mother yourself, you're going to be able to mother your child better.
Next one.
This mum friend says, Miranda, this is urgent. My lips are so dry. I've tried everything on the market and nothing seems to work. Please, can you help me? Okay, that was a fake dilemma. But I guess now we're here, I can talk about my sponsor. Now, if you're a lip balm girl, you know the struggle. Finding a lip balm that actually works is so hard. I have been on the lip balm train since I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure I came out the womb addicted to Vaseline. Well, if only newborn baby Miranda had access to lip care that works. And thanks to Nomcos, now I do. If anything, they've actually fucked themselves a little bit, and don't tell them I said this, but this lip balm is so fucking good that it's gonna last me about 300 years because I don't need to apply it 10 to 20 fucking times a day. Like, I apply this once in the morning and I'm good. Nomcos is a Black-owned business and it's founded by people that are also victims of the lip balm industry, and they just wanted to create a product that actually worked. It is hand-poured in Manchester, and the range includes a strawberry one, an overnight one, the everyday one, and the peppermint one. Whenever I offer lip balm to my husband, he's always like, no, I'm not a lip balm girl, I'm not a lip balm girl. But then I've seen him sneak a few swipes when I'm not looking, and I know for a fact his favorite is the strawberry one. My favorite is also the strawberry. It makes me feel nostalgic. You know, when you're a child and you'd wear like the flavored lip glosses and you'd actually just eat it, but except this one isn't made from cheap shit and I didn't get it out of a magazine. Like, it's high quality organic ingredients. It's vegan, it's cruelty free, and it is available to buy right now. So head over to nomcos.co.uk to grab yours. A huge thank you to Nomcos for sponsoring and supporting the Nappy Hour. I love you, I'm obsessed with you. So make sure you guys head over to Nomcos and check this brand out. Lip care that works. Anyway, back to the episode. Love ya. This girl says, I'm 27. I've been with my boyfriend since uni. He's 32. And we've just moved in together. Lately, I've been thinking about having a baby, but I'm not sure he's the right guy for it. He drinks a lot. His communication is all over the place. For example, last week, he promised to come home for dinner, but he didn't show up until 2 a.m. after drinks with the lads. Drinks with the lads? If Zach came home at 2 a.m. after having drinks with the lads, I think you're out, mate. Those doors would be locked. You're spending the night in your fucking car, babe. I want a family, but I'm scared he's not ready. Am I overthinking this? Will a baby be what he needs to sort his shit out? Or is this a big red flag? Is this a red flag? Yes. Yes, it is a red flag, my darling. This man needs to come with like a warning sign. Do not have babies with me unless you want to cry yourself to sleep for the next 18 years. Let me ask you this. Are these reoccurring issues that, you know, he promises to sort out, but he never manages it? He just never changes? Yeah. thought so. If this was like a recent development, like he was never a drinker, his communication was always good, and then suddenly like these issues have arisen, then I'd say, okay, there's probably something deeper going on here. Maybe he's got like stress at work, or he's struggling with his mental health, or he's cheating on you. But I don't think that's the case, because like you would have said that if there was like a change in behavior, you would have said that. So I think this is more just like, this is just him to his fucking bones. A non-negotiable, and every parent listening to this right now will agree, a non-negotiable with your partner when having a baby is good communication. Like if you have bad communication, a baby will not fix that. Therapy could fix that. But a baby will not help the situation at all. Having a baby in a relationship with that has bad communication is like, you know, you got like a paper cut on your hand and you're just getting like lemon and you're just fucking rubbing it in and thinking, why is this cut stinging so much? Well, I thought this lemon juice was meant to help this paper cut, but it's just stinging it. yeah, it is, babe, because you're literally pouring acid on a wound. I'm not saying break up with him, but I am saying tread very carefully, okay, baby? You know, we all know families where the dad is a bit absent, bit shit. He spends too much time in the pub. There's not really a good relationship with the mum. The mum's rugged. She's running the show. She resents her partner. Like, how many people do we know that have that family dynamic? And then we always look at them and then we're like, how did it get to that point? Like how did that relationship start and got to this? How has that relationship got to this point? Well, this is how, because women fall in love with false promises of what this man could be or should be or says he could be, or we want him to be. And we end up having babies with them because we are loving and we see the best in people and we want to save people, or we think that they can save themselves, or we think that we can be the reason that they can change. And most likely it ain't the case. And you know what? Maybe he could change. Maybe this having a baby with him will be the fucking kick up his ass that he needs to sort himself out and suddenly be able to communicate properly and stop drinking and just be the man that you need. But are you going to risk it? Are you going to risk getting pregnant with this man to then be disappointed and then have to deal with that decision for the rest of your life, babes, for the rest of your life? Listen, I know it's scary breaking up with someone at the age of 27 because we've got it drilled into our heads from a very young age that by 30 you should be married with the guy that you're going to have babies with, you should have a house, blah, 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 blah. If you were 20 and you were in this relationship, would you stay with him? Would you be happy if your best friend was in this relationship and she came to you and was like, I'm having a baby with this man? Would you be happy for her, or would you be like worried and scared for her? What about your future children? Say if you had his babies and you put yourself in like fucking 15 years in the future, right? And this man is still acting exactly the same way that he's acting with you today. Would you be happy that man being the father of your children? Biggest question, would you want this man as your dad? Would you be happy with this man being your father? And if you can answer yes to all of those questions, then I think beautiful. Have his babies. Go on, babes. Get pregnant. But if you are doubting or you're like, actually, no, then let's not rush. I think keep the coil up there just for a few more years until he sorts his shit out. If this is your guy, like this is your man, then let's get him in therapy and let's sort his shit out. Or I think it might be time to call it. There is some man out there that will want to communicate with you properly, that doesn't want to fucking go out drinking with the lads until fucking 2 a.m. Drink 2 a.m. Sometimes we're with people because they are the person for us, and sometimes we're with them just because we're with them. And I think that might be the case here. I'm trying to think of a way to close this dilemma out that's not like dark and sad and that is actually funny, but I can't think of anything to say. So Moving on.
Next one.
Right, guys, this is our last dilemma. Let's get into it. Hi, Miranda. Loving the pod. When I started to listen, I never thought I would actually be writing in, but here we are. I've got a 2-year-old who recently decided that naps are for wimps, which is hilarious considering he turns into a complete gremlin without one. The real fun starts when I finally manage to get him down, cue 90 minutes of glorious silence, only to have him wake up in a terrible mood. He's cranky and flipping out. I'm exhausted and I don't enjoy the nap because I just know the aftermath when he's waking up is nightmarish. My partner thinks it's just a phase, but I'd love to hear how other mums survive the post-nap minefield without losing their head. He's always been a good sleeper until recently. I've tried buggy naps, bed naps, sofa naps, cot naps. It's all the same. White noise, blackout blinds, nothing changes. I feel guilty for sticking the TV on every day after a nap, but honestly, it's the only thing that works. Why do you feel guilty? What's to feel guilty about? Because you don't think other mums are putting the TV on after naps? Let me walk you through my post-nap schedule. Okay, my son, say he's asleep. He usually sleeps in the buggy because that's usually the only place that I can get him to nap nowadays. But right before I to wake him up, I get a few things ready. First, I prep the chocolate milk. It's got to be ready to go. Secondly, I prep a chocolate snack. Third, I get a movie up. Fourth, I clear the area. Anything valuable, anything that I love, I move away out of reach. Why? Because I'm ready for the flip outs. I've learned that I can get away without a flip out if I have all of these things prepped. But say if he's napping and I realize that we don't have any chocolate snacks, uh-oh. I shit my pants. I shit my pants because I know my little dictator is going to kick my ass when he wakes up. As far as I'm concerned, like post-nap, in the daytime is just like, you got to do what you got to do to survive, and it's guilt-free as far as I'm concerned. Our mornings, like we try and not have any TV on in the mornings. We're playing together, we're painting, we're going to the park, we're doing lots of fun stuff. But after that nap, it's fucking free for all, mate, in this house. It goes to shit. My kid is rarely in a good mood after he wakes up from his nap. And to be fair, like if I ever wake up from a nap, whenever I have a nap, I wake up in a terrible mood and I'm groggy as fuck. I'm pissed off. I feel shame from the nap. I'm like, oh, why did I fall asleep? For fuck's sake. Like I've got so much shit to do and I fucking fell asleep. That's probably what's going on in his mind as well, to be honest. Like he's got puzzles to do and he wakes up from his nap and he's like, fuck, there's fucking puzzles, man. Damn it. Now the day's run away from me. I was meant to finish my puzzle. I was meant to throw things at the cat. Like now it's nearly bedtime and I've fucked it. So I get it. I'm not going to sit here and give you advice because I can only imagine you've done lots of reading. You've been on the forums. There's nothing I can tell you that you don't already know. All I can say is that there is no need for you to feel guilt or shame about screen time after a nap. It might feel like no one else is doing it, but that's just because no one's posting about it. No one's talking about it, but it doesn't mean people aren't doing it. And anyway, now you know what we do in our house between the times of 1 and 3 p.m. And on that note, lovely mum friends, we are going to leave it there. If you have not rated or reviewed this podcast, please go and rate it. I have 5 stars over on Spotify, and gotta say, guys, I'm getting a bit of a big head about it, but don't stop. Okay, don't stop. Because on days that I feel shit about myself, I just go over to my Spotify, I see that it's still 5 stars, and I think, you know what? Life is good. So if you have not already, give this podcast 5 stars. Make sure you send it to a friend that you think would enjoy it. Do you have any pregnant friends, any mum friends, any sisters, cousins, brothers, teachers, dogs? What else can you be? Grandmas. Just send it to someone, okay? Do me a favor. Another shout out to my lovely sponsors, Nomcos. Now, I take my responsibility as an influencer very seriously. I do not recommend products lightly. I have had the opportunities to work with certain brands in the past and I have turned them down because the product has been shit. But as someone that has struggled with lip balm addiction for the majority of my life, I can wholeheartedly say that I am so excited and grateful to be working with Nomcos to bridge the gap between this incredible product and brand and Guys, I've been lucky enough to have been using this product for 2 months now, and I have never had a lip balm like it. It truly does what it sets out to do. So if you are looking to heal from your lip balm addiction, then do it with Nomcos. I love you so much. Have a beautiful day. Mwah!